girls, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a new look on this date night type glam. I was trying to come up with creative ideas for a look for videos coming up because I've been very basic lately. I am my top #1 critic, so I know that. I also wanted to bring a look for Valentine's Day, and I don't think men are so much into technique and something like crazy on the eyes. And I just started doing my research. I went to Google on my trusty phone and I just Googled like makeup that men prefer, and then I came across a few pages that said like the sexiest makeup according to men. And according to some of the pages that I visited, men, or most men at least, prefer a smoky, like bronzy smoky eye, very classic, and that's what I try to come up with. I came up with this look. It's very bronzy on the eyes, it's smoky, very classic, very bombshell type look, very like Victoria's Secret type eyes. This is totally a makeup that I will wear on like a second date or on a date with my hubby, just because he already knows that I love makeup. He already loves me for who I am. So I would recommend this makeup not on a first date because you don't want to scare him off with too much makeup. But of course, if that's you and you love it and you think it's okay, then this is just a suggestion. You guys know that. Also, something else that I wanted to point out, even though I wore a lot of makeup because I did use a lot of products, I tried to use products, at least on my face, that would not come out cakey, because I honestly don't think men like to see that a woman is wearing a layer like this of foundation. So I tried to use my trusty and lovey's foundations that are very thin and that are not going to cake up on me. So I will show you some techniques here and there that I did so that my foundation and my contour and all of that doesn't look super cakey. And yeah, that is it. I don't think I have too much to say. And I am also thinking about having my boyfriend slash hubby slash husband do my makeup. I'm just kind of curious to see what he would like me to wear on a date with him, so maybe he can do that. I know if you are interested in having him do my makeup. I've been begging him for years and I'm trying to convince him, so let me know. Thumbs up this video if you guys want to see that so I can try to convince him, because he's like, oh no, he's not doing my makeup. But anyways, if you guys want to see how I created this look, then keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I already said liked, and share the video. Besos, bye. Alright, so today we're going to get started with the lips. I'm going to be using this lip balm that I received in my January's Ipsy bag, and it's from the Rimmel brand. And I'm going to follow that up by priming my skin using my e.l.f. Hydrating Primer. Also from my Ipsy bag, I'm going to be trying out the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Illuminator. I was using it to correct the darkness underneath my eyes, but I honestly feel that it will work better as a highlighter, not to cancel out discoloration. But you live and learn. I was trying out as many products as I could from my Ipsy bag because I didn't have a chance to film the unboxing. For foundation, I use my favorite at the moment, which is the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation. I am using the tone 209, and I'm just blending that using my beauty blender. To add some definition to my face, I'm going to be using a very lightweight foundation in about 2 shades, or 1 to 2 shades darker than my skin tone. This is the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation, and I'm just applying that in all the areas that you would normally contour. This is going to give us a subtle contour and bronze up the skin at the same time without having to add too many layers or without making it too harsh. I'm blending that using my beauty blender, and then later on we're going to set that with a little bit of bronzing powder, but we're going to keep our hands very light. Right now I'm going to be priming my lids, and per usual I'm going to be using Self Ochre Paint Pot from MAC, and I like to apply that with a brush first and then just tap it with my fingers. Then we're going to be setting that with Laura Mercier translucent powder. Any loose setting powder or any foundation of your skin tone is going to work. And then for eyeshadow, I'm going to start off with Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. It's just like a super neutral kind of shade, transitional shade. I really like this one. It's very light and it's just going to give us a little bit of definition. Next I took Cocoa Bear, which is a little bit deeper and darker, And with a smaller blending brush, I believe this is a 217 from MAC, we're going to be applying this right into the crease. Right here, I decided to do it sort of like a cut crease type look, but you really don't have to. You can be a little bit more messy and apply it to the outer V or the crease area. What you want to do is just add some warmth into the crease, and then now we're going to come in with a bronzing shade. You can use gold, you can use a bronze color, and we're going to just apply that onto the lid. Being very careful. Again, I decided to sort of do this as a cut crease, but you don't have to be as precise. So you do you here, and you decide what you want to do. If you want to simplify your life, just do it as a regular smoky eye and add a little bit of darkness to the outer corners, but I decided just to keep it this way. From the same Ipsy bag, I picked up the Naked pigment that came in it. It's a little bit golden, so I apply just a little bit into the center of the lid to add a little bit more brightness into the look. Now to define the crease a little bit more, I'm going to be taking Corrupt and Mocha, which is a black and a dark brown eyeshadow, and we're just going to be running that using a pencil brush into the very crease, so kind of like the socket line, just so we can cut it and define it even more. Next, I'm going to be taking a matte flesh tone eyeshadow, and I'm going to be using that to highlight my brow bone. Now taking a black liner, we're going to line our top lashes. Very, very thin line, and just basically creating a dark root for our fake lashes. And then I'm also tight lining and applying it on my waterline. And I like to set all of that using a little bit of black eyeshadow. And again, I use the same one from Makeup Geek, Corrupt. So after doing this, I decided to apply my false lashes off camera. I used some lashes from One Makeup Lash Bar, and there were some MAC lashes. And then after that, I am done to highlight and conceal right underneath my eyes. And I mixed the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and also the gel concealer from Sephora. Mixing the two just made the perfect shade. And I like to use the one by Sephora in the inner parts of my face just as a highlight because it's lighter than the other one. And I know this looks like a lot of makeup, but guess what? Shh, you do not need to tell him. He doesn't need to know that you're wearing 3 layers of makeup. Just make sure that you blend it really, really well and that you set it with a very light powder so that it doesn't look heavy. So let's do that. I'm using my Real Techniques little miracle blender to blend that in. To set the concealer underneath my eyes, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. And I'm using the same little miracle sponge from Real Techniques to apply it. And I'm sort of baking, but not applying too much. I'm just applying a little bit. I'm going to wait like 30 seconds. And then I'm going to be using this yellow powder from Wet n Wild to just dust it off. This powder is amazing and it's super inexpensive. So if you're in a budget, or if you just simply like drugstore products, you should try it out. It's really good. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm using my Fit Me powder, setting powder from Maybelline. And I'm using the smallest, the slightest amount as possible. You just want to make sure that your foundation stays in place. We don't want to cake this up. And then I mix a creme brulee and cocoa bear, and I'm running that underneath my lower lash line to smoke out the area. I tried to keep it simple, like I didn't want to do a super duper smoky eye, but you can definitely bring it down a little bit more if you want the look to be even more smoky. Then I took Shimmer Shimmer also from Makeup Geek. I didn't even realize I used so many Makeup Geek eyeshadows today, but anyways. And I apply that in the inner corners of my eyes as a highlight. And then I'm just applying my Scandalized mascara from Rimmel. Now to bronze a little bit more, I'm using this Smashbox bronzer in the tone Suntan. I really like this bronzer. As you can see, I hit pan because it's very subtle. And the brush that I'm using, by the way, also came in my Ipsy bag, and so far so good. It's very good for contouring because it's very small and precise, but at the same time it blends well, so it didn't create like a super harsh line. So I'm just using that powder all over any area that you usually use to contour. And contouring those nose because he doesn't need to know that you have a big nose. So moving on, I'm using my Warm Soul blush from MAC to just apply a little blush on my cheeks and look really nice and cheekity cheek. Cheekity cheek, is that a word? Nope. Alright, and for highlighter, I'm using my, what is this called? Jacqueline and, oh, Champagne Pop highlighter from Becca. It's a really pretty highlight. It's, I don't want to call it subtle, like I didn't apply too much, but it's kind of like a blinding highlight. I don't know if guys like highlight or not, but what I can tell you is that guys love a girl with confidence, a girl that feels good, and for me, a good highlighter gives me confidence. So, following that with a little bit of setting powder, and we're good to go for the face. Now for the lips, I am using my Huda Beauty lip liner. I cannot remember the name of it, but I always forget, but I'll leave it in the description box. I think it's Goal Setter, Goal Getter, Trendsetter. That's the name. That's the name. And then I'm lining with that. And then what did I use on the lips? Oh, I used this little lippy, it's like a jumbo lip pencil from a weird brand that I have for a very long time. But this color is very similar to Lolita from Kat Von D, just not in a super matte form. And that is it. That is the look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really like how it turned out. Just fix your hair, look sexy, be confident, and good luck on your date. Besos, and I see you guys next time. Bye.